Hey, and welcome back to Joe on Joe. It's me, your host, Joe Slepsky, and we are back with day 3 of Operation Dragonfire. At this point, I'm not sure if that's a good sign or a bad sign, but thank you for sticking with us. We are going to we're going to have a lot of fun with this today because I've got a special guest here from Woodland Hills, California. You may know him from the Temple Aliyah. And he is a rabbi, my friend, Rabbi Ben Goldstein. Ben, welcome to Joe on Joe.
Thanks so much. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm very excited to have you. We've been dancing around this for a few months. And
yeah.
I blame me and my terrible scheduling.
Oh, no, that's totally okay. I blame my lack of, what is it? Go get 'em. Lack of stick-to-itiveness, I think is the word, right?
Oh,
that's a big 80s word.
It is a big 80s word. Yeah. So, G.I. Joe, you grew up with it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Toys, television show, the movie, right? There's a whole like pre-Jinx, post-Jinx, right? That's the movie. What was
Jinx was in the movie, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And Flint, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's I that's how I kind of mark things.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's important. That's important milestones.
Yeah. And no, I just it totally fed my imagination. I used to play G.I. Joe all the time. My parents had this giant like roll top desk, and I would get under it, and I would have this huge G.I. Joe base.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you still have any of them?
I do, actually. I just gave some to my son, and I got to say, it pained me a little bit because he saw them. I wasn't ready to give it to him, and he was like, "Oh, what's that?" I said, "All right, fine." None of them in their original packaging. So
okay,
not worth
sure.
anything.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I just all.
And did he like them? Did he take to them?
He did, but he doesn't really know what to do. He doesn't know the whole.
He doesn't know the story.
Right. He sees the guys with a helmet and he's got kung fu grip. That doesn't.
Yeah. Does he? So do you remember their names? Like, do you?
Oh,
or
yeah.
Do you have any of their file cards? You can like train him. How old's your son, by the way?
He's 6.
Okay.
He's
That's
6.
good age
so,
for it.
Yeah. So his Lego is his life right now.
Oh yeah.
Lego, and I guess his G.I. Joe, if I had to say it, would be Ninjago, this Lego TV show and movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the same. I got to say, I had so many great memories about G.I. Joe, and as a kid, the toys, going into the toy store, it was $3, right, per figure. I remember that. Like, so if you had $10, you could get 3 figures.
Absolutely.
And you had room to spare.
Well, if you had $10, you were just the richest man on the block.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
First
so
of all, getting your hand on that
right.
$10, that was a big deal.
Yeah. Did you grow up with around me, there was this local, I grew up in Rochester, New York. There was a local toy store called Kitty City, and they had this contest that I think Toys R Us had as well, where you get to have like 20 minutes in the store and throw everything in the cart.
That was my dream.
I filled out hundreds. Oh, no,
Oh,
I never
I was like,
won.
you won.
Oh, no, I wish.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I filled out all those cards.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would come back with stacks of them in the hopes that I would get to win.
I would so when we'd go to Toys R Us, I would walk up and down the aisles going, all right, when I win, I'm going to go, this is how I'm going to have to cut through this aisle to get to the G.I. Joe aisle, because if I go the other way, I might get tripped up. It's fastest to get through here. I used to plot the fastest route to get to the G.I. Joe aisle.
Yeah, I always knew my first stop because I needed the space in the cart. My first stop because I never got this. It was the toy I wanted my entire childhood. The aircraft carrier. It's not even close. Was it Liberty, right?
Oh, the USS Flag.
Flag, right.
Yeah. You wouldn't have even been able to fit that in the cart, though.
No, it was like 6 feet long.
Yeah, you would have had to haul that up to the register and then run back.
Oh, yeah.
You see pictures of those aisles, and it's just red, white, blue, red, white, blue, red, white, blue, red, white. It just stacks. Have you watched The Toys That Made Us yet?
I have. I saw the first one. I saw the Star Wars episode.
Yeah, it's great.
It was really good.
Got to check out the G.I. Joe episode. Because it's everything.
I'm savoring it. It's like a nice wine. I'm waiting. Yeah.
So how long have you been a rabbi?
I've been a rabbi for almost 8 years. 2010.
Congrats, man.
5 years of school. And
5 years.
Yeah.
That's longer than many doctors.
Yeah, you get to operate before you get to be a rabbi. It's good.
Literally.
Yeah.
You trained Moyle?
Yeah. No. God, no. No. I did stay at a Holiday Inn last night, though. No.
Okay. So you're refreshed and ready to go.
Yeah. No.
I feel safe. I feel safe.
No, don't let.
And what drew you to
the rabbinate?
So the is it the clergy, or is that some? Yeah. Except
either one.
I'm Lutheran. I'm Midwest Lutheran.
Okay.
So and not even Catholic. So there's so many things I don't know. So what drew you to the clergy, to being?
So I was an actor for many years, and
that drove you.
It did. It drove me nuts. And instead of waiting tables, I worked in Jewish nonprofit stuff because I had a pretty strong Jewish background. And, as an actor, I was sending out resumes and Backstage West and all that stuff. And the amount of time I would spend hustling to get work that sometimes wasn't really even good, had no redeeming value. It just was a bad return on investment. And I started working as a Sunday school teacher and youth group leader, and I found how much more fulfilling it was, and how much I enjoyed it. I mean, acting was the most fun ever. It was being on a movie set is the greatest thing. It's so much fun. But just in terms of fulfillment, I decided to kind of pursue something that was a little more fulfilling. And I looked at the job description of a rabbi, and clearly public speaking was something I liked, entertaining people. So sermonizing, I love writing. I've always loved writing. So that was a good one. Teaching, working kind of one-on-one in pastoral settings and counseling. I worked in drug and alcohol rehabilitation for a while.
Amazing.
So yeah, it was great.
That's great. That's great. Is that what you find most rewarding about it? The mentoring, counseling part of it?
I love that. I also love the public speaking. I don't want to say that I love funerals. That would be a little morbid and weird. But I when I do a funeral, I kind of know I'm in the right place.
Listen, my friend Tori passed away a few years ago now, 7 years ago. It was a friend of ours from our writing class. And he was Jewish, and so it was actually my first Jewish funeral and ceremony. And it was lovely. Lovely. The manner that people getting up, and was it paid testimony or paid tribute?
Eulogy, eulogized,
but the room was doing it. I'm used to traditional Catholic Lutheran stuff where it's like the son gets up, the daughter gets up,
right.
His favorite niece gets up, says one prescripted thing, and then everyone sits down. This was a room of people who cared about Tori, and it was open. It was who wants to say something nice about Tori.
This was at the funeral itself.
Yeah, or at the wake, I guess, or at the
a shiva.
At the shiva.
Yeah. That's a very
It was at the funeral home, and it was lovely. And I was just absolutely like marked by the contrast. For me, like I was always like, just cremate me and let's move on. But I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. I could, I could do this.
Yeah, I mean, organized religion gets rightfully a bad rep for a lot of things. But one thing I think Judaism got right was the whole process by which they process death. The whole Shiva, 7 days. You kind of stay in your house, you grieve, you tell stories. Was this out here?
No, this was in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was in Chicago.
Yeah, it's when I officiate a funeral or I'm in someone's home doing a shiva, it's really meaningful, and it's really a moment of connection and knowing that I'm in the right place and in the right career. I'm a much better rabbi than I was an actor, so it's a good switch, transition.
That's really good. That's really good. Speaking of transitions, you mentioned we could find your acting skills in a little thing called
Jewz in the Hood, and I'm going to give you one guess on how you spell Jewz.
Z?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a drive-by bageling. That's the entire plot of the movie.
Okay, wait. I need to circle back to the concept of drive-by bageling, but is it a short? Is it a feature? It's
a short. We shot it in West Hollywood. It was a one-day shoot, and my job was to drive the Mercedes up and down the block the entire day, which was kind of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it was that.
That's great. And can we find that online if we Google it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Jewz in the Hood. We'll link to it. We'll tweet it out.
Oh, awesome.
I can't wait to watch it.
We'll triple the amount of views it's ever gotten. It'll be great.
So you just said the word drive-by bageling, and in college, at one point we learned that Bagelman's, this is at University of Illinois in Champaign, Bagelman's on Green Street, at the end of the night, they would have to throw out all their bagels, and they would put them in plastic bags and just lay them by the dumpster.
Wow.
Mid-'90s, all right? So we were broken, poor, and hungry, so occasionally we would take them and eat them.
At what time at night was this?
2 a.m.
So
after
you're all
the bars.
sober and...
completely
Perfect.
sober and
Great.
in our perfect minds.
Yeah.
So we figured it out one day, and we're like, all right, well, they're totally clean. They're just in a bag. They're just the days-old bagels. So we would get them. We'd eat one or whatever, but then we got the idea to do what we call drive-by bageling. And we would we would take a bag of bagels, a big old garbage bag of bagels, and just leave them at our friends' houses. Chuck them at doors, leave stacks of them, like tall stacks of bagels on someone's front door. So you'd wake up in the morning and you were visited like by the bagel fairy.
That's amazing. So Josh Stern, I don't know if you're listening, but he was the writer. You guys inspired him to do this drive-by bageling. I don't know.
Is that what you guys did in the movie?
We threw bagels with cream cheese. We would schmear, of course.
Schmear,
and
sure.
We'd throw them at a different sect of Jewz.
That's absolutely what we did circa 1995, 96. Yeah. It was hilarious. It culminated in, picture an apartment building with like a inner courtyard, so it's like you can't see from the outside, but if you're inside, multiple bags, throwing them at 2:00 in the morning, up and down this, like a bagel war at 2 in the morning. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was fantastic.
Wait, so Bagelman's was the name of the place?
The name was Bagelman's
because Jewowitz was taken for like. Was that the deli, Jewowitz?
Yeah. I believe. Well, they were right across the street from a deli called Not Jew Enough.
Oh, right. There you go. Okay. Yeah, there you go. And Jaime's. That's where everybody got the challah for Sabbath. Yeah, great.
Yeah, it's listen, it was tasty.
They were better
when they were fresh.
Of course. They were harder when they were stale.
It's funny that story won me. I think that won me $5,000 on a game show.
What?
Yeah, it was a game show where you had to guess if it was okay. They surveyed people in America. It was one of those like Family Feud stuff. And this was it aired on the Oprah Network. I got paid for it and everything. And the question was, they would survey Americans and they'd say, is it normal to do this? Sleep in the nude. Okay. And so then me and my partner would have to go, no, it's not. Like, I don't think it's normal to sleep in the nude. And if over 50% of the people said it was, then you win. If you lose, if you guessed what the right answer was, what America said,
right,
that's what you want. And one of the questions was eat food out of the trash.
Oh,
and in my head I went, we used to eat bagels out of the trash all the time.
Well, there you go.
And so I said yes.
And that won you
over 50% of Americans said it was okay to eat food that had been in the garbage, and it was a slim margin. But that won me like $5,000.
So 50% of Americans share the eating habits of my 6-year-old.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yes. 50% of Americans and me, a 42-year-old
That's awesome.
man.
Hey, well, if 50% of Americans are known for anything, it's for making good decisions. That's for sure.
Well, that's very much evident these days. Or at least, well, no, technically, what was it? 42% of Americans.
Oh, I don't know what you're referencing.
Voting
I don't know what you're referencing. I was just speaking hypothetically, of course.
Oh my gosh, Ben, I'm real excited to have you on. Real excited to watch Operation Dragonfire.
I am
because
too.
I need the help, man.
I am too. This is the Canadian version you told me?
This is the Canadians. We're calling it the Canadian stuff, although we know it was technically a U.S. company, but they farmed all the voice acting and all the animation out to a Canadian.
So they're going to go oat?
A lot of boot.
Oh,
and
that's
they go.
awesome.
The Jewz take a lot of holiday or they go to
they go on
cottage.
holiday?
They go to cottage. They go to cottage a lot.
Oh, yeah, wow. Do they all wear Roots sweatshirts? And
no. But
like
just
that?
There's a lot of hockey in the background.
Right. Sponsored by Molson.
Molson, absolutely.
Right,
absolutely. The best thing about it, though, is finally Doc is able to disperse free healthcare to everyone. And they're not checking for insurance anymore. They're just taking care of soldiers.
Right. They have horrible teeth, but they all...
Yeah. Duke got shot. Wait a minute, what's his insurance carrier? That doesn't happen anymore because now they're Canadian.
No wallet biopsy. That's great.
No, not at all.
That's awesome.
Not at all.
All right, I'm excited. Let's do it.
Ben, if our followers want to find you on Twitter, we can go to @Rabbi Goldstein _ The underscore is after the Goldstein.
That is true. Yes.
I feel like that's a pregnant pause to say like Rabbi Goldstein. Dun dun dun, like the man or something like that.
Ben Goldstein is one of the most generic names for Jews. People, this is a true story. I was at
Jaime's Bagel Factory.
Right there, you go. Whenever I go to will call, I do this every time. If I have a ticket waiting for me, they'll ask me, name first and last, and they say, "How do you spell Goldstein?" And I'll just look at them right in the eyes, and I'll go JEW. And they'll look at me and they say, they don't know if they're allowed to laugh, but I do this, whenever I have a reservation at a restaurant, because I am that fancy. I have reservations all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think In-N-Out takes reservations, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, there you go. Yeah. So.
Although In-N-Out, aren't they super Christian? Do you like duck and cover when you go in there?
I
think they are.
Something funny. I've never been to In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah.
In my life.
It's tasty. It's tasty.
I'm sure.
I have it every few months. It's not, for me, it's not the end all be all, but I do like it. But I think they're like super religious.
Oh, I knew Chick-fil-A was.
Chick-fil-A just hates homosexuals.
Oh, okay. They're building one like around the corner from my house.
Well.
So there you go.
Tasty
I heard the
hate.
waffle fries.
Tasty
the waffle
hate.
fries. I'll have to try them. Yeah.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.
Today's Filecard features on the G.I. Joe Combat Information Specialist, code-named Scoop. His file name is Leonard Michaels, and his primary military specialty is journalist. His secondary military specialty is microwave transmission specialist, and he's from Chicago, Illinois. It takes a special kind of guy to step out from behind cover during a firefight and keep his finger squeezing the trigger of his video cam. With an advanced degree in journalism, as well as a master's degree in electrical engineering, Scoop could have had a secure future with a network news team. Instead, he opted for service on the G.I. Joe team because he wanted to be on the spot when the news was being made, not reporting the aftermath. Quote, the other G.I. Joes were a bit put off by Scoop at first. They resented having a third wheel tagging along, hiding 60 pounds of video equipment and not much firepower. They changed their minds after he carried a wounded comrade 2 clicks to an extremely hairy evacuation site for a medevac. All the while, his camera captured the whole thing on tape. Now that's called doing your job and then some. Scoop, Scoop, Scoop. Well, first of all, we need to point out that Scoop was named after an actual real journalist from Chicago named Mike Leonard. I did a little Wikipedia on him. It sounds like he was a stand-up guy. He's retired now, living outside Chicago. Mike Leonard, if you hear this, reach out. Let's get you on Joe on Joe. Let's hear about your experience as Scoop. This was definitely an action figure that I was not on my radar. In fact, when I was watching the cartoon, I thought, well, they couldn't have actually made a figure of Scoop. He was just a character for the show because it's an interesting little plot. He looks good. It's funny when you look closely, his camera is actually attaches to his thigh. I feel like that would just trip you up and get you killed. What I dig about the file card is that how he joined the team, or at least how they stopped resenting him, is pretty much the same way that they stopped presenting him for saving Sergeant Slaughter. Of course, there's nothing on the file card about him being a double agent because that's exclusively from the show. But I do have to question the logic of having a newsman in the field with G.I. Joe when G.I. Joe, for the most part, was supposed to be a secret organization or like an under hush-hush, we're not really advertising what we do situation. But I'm on board. I like him quite a bit. I think there's room in this man's army for Scoop. So Scoop, Leonard Michaels, or is it Mike Leonard? We salute you.
Now, back to G.I. Joe.
So find Ben on Twitter. As long as you're on Twitter, check me out at Joe on Joe Pod. That's Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Send me an email to joeonjoepod@gmail.com. So this is the first week of February. We just wrapped up our January contest. Ben, we were running a contest for G.I. Joe, where if you left me a review on Apple, someone was going to win some comic books. So as of this recording, I haven't pulled the winners yet. But if you're out there, we're going to get in touch. And if I can't find you online, I'll say it on the show, and then you're going to have to reach in and call me. So, yeah, I'm giving away free comic books just for leaving me a review.
Nobody wins the aircraft carrier, though, right?
No.
Okay, I just checked.
Although the aircraft carrier may appear in some of these comic books. I'm just saying. It's out there. So thank you all very much for listening, and thanks for sending me a note. And if you want to be a guest on Joe, reach out and let me know. I love having fans on from all over the world. All you need is a Skype connection and a will to go through DIC with me.
Yeah,
that's it. I think the will part is the harder.
I'm excited for this.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be absolutely great. So without any further ado, we're going to get into Operation Dragonfire Day 3, and here we go. So what's interesting? They use the Yo Joe. That's Duke saying Yo Joe, right?
Right.
And that's why am I blanking? Bell. Original voice actor.
Yeah.
For some reason, I'm blanking on his name. Everyone, don't hate me. He's not on the show though. Oh. But so I don't know if they use that on these DVDs as they just kind of snipped it to make the DVD kind of work, or if they actually did use that on the show because he's not a part of this cast anymore.
Interesting.
Yeah. Michael Bell. I'm sorry. Yeah. Forgive me, listeners. I blanked for a moment. Yeah, that's Michael Bell saying Yo Joe. So I don't know if he got paid for that, even though he wasn't actually on the show.
I'm sure he did not.
It's probably right. So yeah, you see, this is all the new cast and crew, but it's the same guys though. It's rock and roll. It's Alpine.
Oh, it is.
It's Mutt, but they're all in new outfits. So it's
Roadblock?
Roadblock has not shown up yet, but I hope he does. So this is Dragonfire, and I believe we're supposed to be getting a.
Is this a recap?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a recap, and for some reason on the DVD, you hear that? The recap doesn't kick in until like 10 seconds in. So I don't know
Wow.
if the recap was like this on TV, or if when Shout put this together, this is like the recap they slapped on it. I honestly don't know. If someone's out there and actually knows the history of this stuff, I would be fascinated. Again, we're watching it off the Shout Factory, or not Shout Factory. The is it Shout Factory or Rhino? Oh, Shout Factory discs. Yeah. Because this is a long recap of what happened.
Wait, who's the guy with the antlers?
That's Baroness with.
And this is
Yeah,
Cobra
she
coming
found
back.
an antler thing, which helps her harness it to then change Cobra Commander back to it. So I have a strong feeling that wasn't the original voiceover.
Probably not.
That they added that for this DVD track. I'll do a little research before the show airs, just to see if I can find. I have no idea if I can find anything about that. But if anyone listening knows,
I'm going
let
to
me
say
know.
that you're probably the foremost historian on G.I. Joe.
You know what's funny? Probably not, but one of the reasons why I'm like, yeah, we're going to do these DSCs, even though they're not my favorite things, is I'm like, no one else is going to do this. So I may not know everything, but I'm like, there's no other. There's other great there's totally great G.I. Joe podcasts out there, absolutely. But every one that I've ever seen, it's all the first ones. And hey, let's rewatch this, and let's watch Pyramids of Darkness, and let's watch Worlds Without End.
Right.
And I said, I was like, no one's gonna go through every DIC episode. Like, you got to be masochist to want to do that.
Right.
So here I am, Ben.
Wait.
So Scoop.
Hold on. That was Cobra Commander's voice?
No.
Okay.
That's that guy. So that's Copperhead, the water moccasin driver. But they're on these cool new hovercrafts. That's a second generation Fang copter.
Oh, but not, okay.
They still haven't decided to put a canopy on it, of course.
Right.
Yeah. That is the Alley Viper that was working with Scoop.
Okay.
Correct. So he's kind of filling in Copperhead. Now he doesn't really. Scoop technically hasn't betrayed Cobra yet. But he doesn't really know that Scoop's kind of being like, oh, maybe G.I. Joe's not a bunch of monsters.
Okay. All right.
Got Mutton Junkyard. Oh. Right?
Yeah.
I always love Junkyard.
Yo, Scoop. How you doing, Junkyard?
You hear the difference in the voices?
Yeah.
Sarge wants everyone back at their posts.
Tim Hortons. They want to go to Tim Hortons later.
Gotta go grab a Molson.
Right.
But don't have too many before jumping in the Wolverine.
Hey, did you see the Leafs play the other day?
Yeah. Oh.
Alley Viper should have waited for my signal.
Yeah, see, he's upset. He was supposed to signal the Alley Viper because he wanted. So now he's in that.
What do you know?
He's in that trap where you see in a lot of movies and stuff where there's a guy who's not sure what side to play. He's trying to do both. He's trying to keep his new friends safe, but also giving Cobra what they want. And in this case, it's not working out because G.I. Joe's still there, and so Cobra basically walked into a trap. And Scoop didn't want that for either side. Look at those helicopters. We were teasing about the exposed cockpit on the Fang.
Yeah.
Those flying singular that is just shoot me out of the sky.
Well, are they holding on with two hands?
Yeah.
So what is their weapon to use? They have no
there's like
hands.
lasers.
Oh, there they go.
There's like
Okay.
lasers in their hands, but that is no protection at all whatsoever.
Is there a scene where Sergeant Slaughter takes a syringe and injects himself with some PEDs?
I hope so.
That would be awesome.
I hope so. You know what's amazing? Sergeant Slaughter, whoever's running his social media, always gives me a good retweet.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I don't think he listens.
We love you,
but we love you, Sergeant Slaughter, and we'll give you a shout out again this week.
This is wow.
If I hit anyone, I'm in big trouble with
Yeah, there's.
I like that he's talking out loud. He's a double. That's great.
Yeah.
And his name is Scoop.
Scoop. Yeah.
Really, only one profession
And
you can go.
they
into.
made him, and yeah, it's true. They made an action figure of him.
Really?
He was a legit action figure. I don't know. I haven't gotten to his file card yet. Actually, maybe we'll do it for this episode. I don't know if he was meant to originally on the file card to be a traitor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or if. So you know what? I will do his file card today. So, but I haven't recorded it yet. So we'll see. We'll see in the file card feature. That's Cobra Commander, my friend.
Wow.
That's Naugahyde, the Dreadnought poacher.
Yeah.
Because every biker gang
He's like
needs
not Australia.
Australia.
Yeah,
oh,
Australia,
yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He calls them G.I. Joeys.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't care which
And
side wins.
you hear that, Baroness? That's this original Baroness.
Yeah.
And that's Chris Latta, the original
It is.
Cobra Commander. Yep. Those are the only two voices that carried over.
Once we discovered the Dragonfire buried beneath these ruins.
And there's a lot of exposition. There's not a lot of forward progress in the character relationships, you know?
Oh, you really? They're not. They're so three.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they just
Wow.
they,
I can't get over the look of it.
Yeah.
Wow. Why is he wearing fur?
Well, but he was naked in the previous episode. This is an upgrade. That's hilarious. That's a hilarious photo. Look at those monkeys grabbing at Cobra Commander's crotch.
Yeah, that was.
We've got those human helicopters.
I feel like I'm watching The Shape of Water.
Hyperactive night viper buddies on the run. Now what we gotta
Interspecies
do is
action.
locate the Dragonfire deposit somewhere in the ruins of the Lost City.
All right, so they're looking for the Dragonfire in this Lost City ruins.
And you can chalk up a win for
Looks
G.I.
like there's
Joe.
like South America somewhere. The other thing that this 5-parter doesn't do is it doesn't use the massive rosters that the other 5-parters would use. You know, they would take advantage of the fact that you've got all these episodes. So they would, like, for example, this mission to the wherever they're at, South America jungles, the Mayan temples. That would have been just a completely new set of Joes.
Yeah.
Because these guys were originally over in Tibet with them. So they would have been cut to
cut to
Shipwreck and Snake Eyes going on a mission to here, and it'd be a different set of Cobras too.
right. Where is Snake Eyes?
No, they're not. You're not going to see him.
Oh,
Yeah, he's barely used if he's used at all on this series.
wow! You don't have to pay the voice actor.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, but also then it's they could never figure out anything to do with it. It was one of my great laments of this whole series. They never did a Snake Eyes centric episode. The newer ones they did because they kind of
did.
figured out
Yeah.
storytelling and
Yeah.
also that people want
We
Snake
were
Eyes
big
stories.
fans of his,
Yeah,
right.
but they never did a Snake Eyes centric story. Like they used Spirit instead of Snake Eyes for a lot of the stories that dealt with Storm Shadow.
Okay.
So Spirit was Storm Shadow's enemy instead of Snake Eyes because Snake Eyes can't talk.
Right, because Spirit can talk.
Yeah.
Okay, we're in. But what is that mess you've sent? I think it's a map to the Dragonfire location.
They're drinking Cobra Cola with
But it's in an
cockroach-ridden
ancient form of
donuts.
Code, which I'm hoping the
Fantastic.
central computer can figure out.
We see the cockroach. This is so great, though. I love this because we see the cockroaches go in there, and they're actually become a plot point.
Oh,
That's
awesome.
not just being gross for gross sake.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually a plot point.
What?
But yeah,
You mean I can see the records Cobra's kept of me since I enlisted?
oh, see, he's real curious about how he thinks he might have gotten duped
Hang on.
by Cobra.
I
So
love
he's-
these voice actors. They're like, it sounds like they're trying to do impressions of Americans. Or
Yeah.
Hey, this is great. Leonard Michaels, personal file, codename Scoop, current status.
One of the things that we
Guardsman.
learned from talking with Bill Ratner, I had Bill on Voice of Flint. I had
Oh,
him on the
wow.
show. Yeah,
Oh,
he's
wow.
super nice dude.
That's
He's
awesome.
great. Is he said with for the first series it was Wally Burr was the director.
Yeah.
He was great, and he was all about getting all the actors in a room together, and he would run them through their paces.
Oh,
Like
that's
they'd be
awesome.
exhausted when they
Right.
left. But I think it showed up because all the voices were really real.
Uh-huh.
They were not-
interacting. Yeah.
Yeah, and they weren't putting on voices. They were putting on voices, but they were real people having real conversations about stuff. This is more of like every line is accented. Everything is the most important thing I'm gonna say.
I'm going into a booth and I'm recording this all right
because
now.
it's an action adventure show, and so I got to make sure all the kids know it, to be excited. And you didn't get that on the O show.
No.
The O show was more nuanced. It was
G.I.
Yeah.
Joe had nothing to do with it?
Well, see, there's a perfect example.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
And
And was Destro in gold just there?
yes, he's
So
got
they
a gold
they
armor
switched
now.
him to
yeah,
gold.
his figure. That is a good thing though. For real,
The figure I remember was a gold one at one point.
they are all really authentic to their action figure. And actually, I credit Chuck Patton for that. He's the art designer for this, and Chuck Patton did a lot of
What have you done?
comic book artist primarily, and he won't to work in animation because that's where people get paid.
yeah.
and I like the designs of him. It's just the animation, the execution of them are a little, they're a little
Yeah.
bulkier than I like,
Yeah.
but the execution, the animation is really, I think, what breaks it down. Not necessarily the looks of them,
Right.
Because they're all really character accurate.
Forgive the interruption, but I
We,
couldn't help
did you? So you read the comics too, the Joe comics?
conversation.
Not as much. No, I didn't. I wasn't. I read them, when I could pick them up, but I didn't go to the comic book store every week. I was more a baseball
So it was,
card collector.
and so it was the toys.
oh God, yeah,
Yeah.
the toys.
Did you? So you said you had some of the figures left. Do you have any of the vehicles left?
Now is
Or
the location
I have-
of the Dragonfire.
I don't even know what it is. It's this like long, big tires that like the missiles come out of.
missiles come out
they
of the
tilt upward.
tires?
Like not tires,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they're like plastic. But there's like a long, I don't know, couple, a foot and a half maybe, and the missiles lie in the bed of it, and then you tilt them up.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking
yeah, I think I do. Is that like Long Range? Or was the
yeah,
driver
something
of that
like that.
named Long Range or
Could
something?
be. I used to have the Rattler.
Slammer?
Low light, stalker.
Slugger?
Follow me.
I don't know. You could
Yeah,
say any name,
yes,
and I'd be
it's-
like, sure, that's it.
It's yeah, my knowledge. I mean, I'm brushing up on the later stuff. I'm usually pretty
Yeah.
good on the first 3-4 years worth
Yeah,
of stuff.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like once you get into this stuff, that's like all the vehicles in the opening of this.
Yeah.
I'm learning. Okay,
Yeah,
I know
my
that's
brother,
the thing too.
my brother
That's
who's younger, he has
this
some of
too.
these big.
Yeah, and this also
new
this
ones.
is also when they got like the helicopters are now purple,
Right.
instead of black. Like I could
Yeah.
see a black and red helicopter, but a bright purple helicopter seems a little garish.
I know. They dress so well, so it's weird that they have.
I want to point out that these guys, their monkey has followed them, so they have picked up a monkey friend.
Too much fun.
Okay.
I think he's attracted to the
If you step on any
fur outfit that
I
Cobra
think
Commander's
that's what they
wearing.
said, yeah.
Yeah. This is great. This is a very Indiana Jones moment.
Ooh.
That's some fun animation, though.
Ooh.
That's like anime style. So he's a poacher, and he saved the animal. So what is it? Does he love animals
wait,
and
he
he
just
poaches
saved it? I
them?
didn't
Yeah,
see
he
that
saved.
was-
Yeah, because the monkey was going to set off the trap.
Oh.
But he saved it. So
Hmm.
does he love animals, but he also poaches them? Is it that he loves them, but he only loves them out of season?
I don't know. I think it's the. He may love him a little too much.
Yeah, it could be that.
That's one of my what they just did was one of my favorite things of all animation from that time period.
Yeah.
You always knew which panel was the secret panel because it's shaded differently.
Yes.
I just from Scooby Doo and everything else, you're like, that's the trapdoor.
Correct.
Yep, right
that,
there.
That mountain is going to crumble.
Right. How do you guys not see it? It's like slightly less blue. Uh-oh.
So that's Stalker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you remember Stalker, right? Normally green
Oh,
camouflage.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in white.
Yeah, they
He
got him.
dressed for the Arctic, and
Yeah,
they never decided to change his
that's-
outfit.
Yeah, that's my point.
I
yeah,
gotcha.
it's they were in the old series. It was hard enough to get them to do location accurate teams in the
Right.
first place. Like a lot of times they'd send Arctic guys to the desert and vice versa. A lot. But occasionally they'd have synergy, and it always felt good. I don't think there's any attempt at it here, any at all. Although in the last episode,
Totally nuts.
Stalker had to use his canoe a lot,
Oh, that's good.
which makes sense.
It's good that he had one.
Yeah. This is great. They're hanging onto this giant swinging boulder, and that's how you cross the chasm.
And if they didn't have the boulder, how would they get across?
I don't know, and what keeps the boulder in perpetual motion? I have
way.
no idea.
Oh,
Right.
I think they invented perpetual motion.
I think they did. Yeah,
that's
the Mayans were
the
good with that.
ancient
Listen, the
right?
Mayans predicted everything, including perpetual motion.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a sweet.
And they didn't get the end of
looking
the world right.
Well,
They were off just by a few years.
just by a few years.
Yeah.
I'll give them. You never know who made a mistake with a calendar here and there.
Right.
Yeah. They really they're getting a lot of mileage out of this antler horned demon head,
It's kind of cool.
which is it's kind of fun.
So wait, Serpentor's nowhere to be found.
Yeah, he's not. He was in the first episode, but they're not really focusing on him. Yeah,
Now, how long had it been since they created him at this point?
a full year. He was created at the start of the second season of the show, so he had a full season to run Cobra. And frankly,
then the movie?
he ran it really well. Yeah, and the movie, he ran Cobra really well.
So, okay.
Cobra had a few victories, not like full on we
Right.
won the day,
Right.
But where G.I. Joe would be like, well, we didn't necessarily get what we wanted, but we ran Cobra off.
Right.
Yeah, he had a lot more victories than Cobra Commander did.
So was he term limited? Is that why they decided to get
No,
rid of him?
they in the movie they ran into some trouble with Cobra Commander leading him, and he's like, let's retreat this way, and that's when they met Cobra La, and Cobra La Globulus was like, well, now that you came and woke
Right.
us up, we're going to take over the world.
Ah.
And they turned him into the commander into a snake, and then they eventually lost. But Serpentor was still ostensibly
Right.
in charge of Cobra, and this just picks up saying like, "Oh, this is why we kept the monkey. We turned the monkeys into giant primate animals." So he's technically still in charge of Cobra, and so far they're winning. They took over the Dragonfire thing.
All right.
My memory does not serve me well. I don't remember if Cobra Commander takes charge by kicking him out at the end of this miniseries.
Bye.
I know that ugly voice anywhere, Cobra Commander, and it looks like you finally.
I know that ugly voice anywhere, Cobra Commander. That's Starscream under that hood, isn't it?
He's still got his chops. I got to be honest. That just brought back a lot of memories.
Oh, he's great. We did a couple weeks back. We did the Transformers crossover episode where they used an old Cobra Commander, called him Old Snake, and it was set 20 years past all these. And in it, they show a close up of his hand, and his hand's yellow, just like this one.
Oh wow!
So they were true to it, like
That's
keeping
awesome.
him a Snake Man. It was great. Yeah, we were really surprised by that detail.
So wait. Okay, in this point,
He's punching a monkey.
and he fought.
Just decks a giant monkey man.
I keep these monkey men
I like that
under
he's like
control.
4 times the size of anybody else in this.
Oh yeah.
If the Sarge says he's got those monkey men under control, he's got them under control.
They're so casual
That is
about
awesome.
leaving
So
him
we're
to
just
die.
all right. We'll see you later. You
Yeah.
fight these 4.
Take one pistol.
Right. You got it.
They were so happy. Like, hey man, Sergeant Slaughter's got this. Even though he's
good.
not only surrounded by monkey men, but also,
But also
cobras.
Cobra. Right.
The 3 of us who could help with the monkey
No.
man. Yeah.
Right. We're not going to leave anybody. Like there are 4 people.
Yeah.
We could go 2 and 2, but no.
No.
You got it.
Yeah, it's so like plot wise, they just needed to get them out of that room,
Right.
Because right now, as Cobra Commander's doing this, picture Sergeant Slaughter standing right there watching him the whole time. You know,
See, this is why you have a backup.
My goodbyes as well.
so now he's like, okay, I gotta go now too. Okay, well, what are we doing here, people?
So he just was, yeah.
He was holding him off, but usually when you do that,
Oh, here he comes.
like in the movie King Kong, the
Yeah.
Kong Island,
Yeah.
Skull Island, the guy's like, I'll hold him off, and then he dies.
Right.
So Sergeant's supposed to die.
That's
But
the
you-
G.I. Joe version of dying.
That's true.
Right.
That's true. Just being left
you
alone
eject.
while
Right.
Stalker laughs about it. Hey, man, listen. If Sarge says he wants to die,
We're good.
We're going to let him die,
Yeah.
all right? Come on, guys. We got a giant boulder to jump on. Now, do you remember Lowlight from his other look where he was in the black with the red goggles? Lowlight's the guy in the brown with the guy with the big thick goggles on. He's their like night sniper guy. He was really cool.
Oh, vaguely. Now that
He
you're saying
did a
it.
really good looking early figure, and then this is where he's a part of Slaughter's Marauders, so they all have a similar blue or brown and green outfit on. And these monkeys really, they really adapted quickly.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
oh, Scoop! You're gonna sacrifice your now.
I've got a
watch
camera.
this. This is crazy.
Oh, how about we turn? Let's press play.
Well, that's the thing. I'm so glad you said that, Ben.
Because we just decided to bring down the house.
He threw a piece of technology at him. I get it, and I get the idea of like, oh, they might be fascinated, but it
Right.
didn't do anything.
Oh, I thought they were gonna.
No, it's not like when he threw it at him, it like lit up the wall with
Right.
illumination or started
Just a
showing
box.
TV
He basically
screen.
threw a box at them and they were,
he
like,
threw a piece of
fascinated.
metal at them that they just looked at and went, wow, what is this piece of metal? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
an
yeah.
element missing there of fascination and wonder.
It right.
It harkens to.
doesn't have any lights going off or anything.
I don't know if you remember early, or like the 3rd episode, one of the real early episodes called Satellite Down. It's one of my favorite episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And a satellite crashed in a African jungle, and it found like a tribal medieval thing,
Yeah.
and they worshipped the satellite.
Vaguely.
And it was flashing
Yeah,
lights.
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's why they worshipped it.
Right.
Because it was like this flashing god, and they painted it, and the Jewz had to
It's
rescue
a
it. 'cause-
C-3PO effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And at the end, the Jewz are like, well, we can't take their god, so they give them a TV.
Yes.
And,
yes,
and they
yes.
watch the TV and they get all upset
Yes.
because they start breaking it or whatever. It's funny.
Right.
But both those things gave them something to be fascinated with. Like
Right.
it was
This
blinking.
gives them
it was
nothing.
this is just a big piece of metal.
Yeah.
Come on, people.
No, but hey,
Light, you finally
Hey,
rigged
it
up
worked.
for good.
It works, it works.
Scoop is no more a Cobra spy than...
Shut up, stalker. Lowlight just made some mighty serious charges.
Did you hear that? Lowlight just accused.
how did he do that? What? How did he find out?
He accused Scoop of knowing too much.
Uh-oh.
Yes, Sergeant Slaughter. I'm afraid they are.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Like what do you do? You just find out he's they're breaking through. You just find out your new Joe buddy is a spy.
I think 2 taps to the back of the head will do it.
I think you
Oh,
leave him.
cuff
Oh
him.
yeah, there you go.
So now
Get him,
you've got to
Lowlight.
schlep him through the.
Yeah,
That's
so now
right,
it's even
that's
harder
schlep.
for you to escape.
Right.
Let's move it, creep. And don't think your buddies are going to rescue you today.
So good.
Because you're one Cobra lowlife whose assets
And I
are-
feel like whoever's doing the voice for Lowlight he's just doing a Clint Eastwood impersonation.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. He's
yeah.
doing some sort of.
Yeah.
Oh,
And look at this.
No.
This is a still frame zoom in.
Operation Dragonfire.
That's the
Wait.
that's the what happens
Here's
next.
a
Like,
taste of the action on the next episode.
that's exciting. A little air to air combat.
Operation
Who's that?
Dragonfire.
That is the, I believe that's the Cobra counterpart of Scoop,
Oh,
or that actually might be Scoop in his
Ah.
Crimson Guard uniform. I'm not sure. That might actually be Scoop.
Wait, hold on a second. We're missing the hallmark G.I. Joe ending.
Oh yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I think these.
We're not going to be told not to play in a refrigerator box.
Oh,
or something?
you're talking about the
Or
PSAs.
throwing rocks at dogs. No, we're not going to have that.
No, you're talking PSAs. They're not on any of the DVDs with the shows. They're separate.
Oh,
Yeah, we did a whole month of them. My wife and I. We watched them all, and we you might get a kick out of them. We did 5 per episode of Joe and Joe.
Yeah.
And we judged whether they were plausible, stupid, or awesome.
Yeah.
And PSA.
I like that.
Yeah,
There you go.
and we broke them down, and we spent 20 minutes on each PSA saying
That
whether or
is
not it was viable and if
awesome.
it was a real threat and this and that and the other. Yeah,
The refrigerator box, right? Do you remember that
Oh,
one?
that's the best one.
That's-
it's
yeah.
the best one. Actually, we really love it. We think it's a great PSA. It's actually still viable, even though you're right. You think, oh, there's no
Right.
gets lost stuck in refrigerators. There's all kinds of things you can get stuck in.
Hmm.
You get stuck in like foot lockers at the end of your bed, a cabinet in the house.
yeah.
Anything that latches, it's dangerous.
Oh,
and you know, and
yeah,
now
it's
you
a house
know.
of horrors.
Ben,
Yes.
is so caught up in the delightful animation that is Dragonfire. I forgot to ask you, or we didn't get around to ask you. So you've seen the show, you've seen this new show. Now, who would you be, G.I. Joe or Cobra, and what would your specialty be?
Wow,
We'll start with specialty, and then we'll, unless you have
I
one.
knew you were going to ask me. I don't know if sarcasm is a skill, but I would be the quippy. I think I'd be the quippy bad guy because they can have more fun.
Okay.
And maybe I'd be called one-liner. I have no idea. No.
Oh, no, I like one-liner as a name.
It's either that or some, philosopher, theologian guy with a beret. I hadn't decided. I was tossing those both around.
I think you're, let's see. So you're one-liner, and you're you know what? How about this? You helped Cobra organize in the early days.
I like it.
And so now you just kind of hang out, and everyone's always like, "What does he even do for Cobra?"
Right.
But Cobra Commander owes you loyalty because early on you were like helping him write his speeches.
Right, and
stuff.
I'm-
you were talking about because you were saying you were good, you love speaking. And
Yeah,
stuff.
there you go.
So you helped him build
I'm
Cobra.
and I'm still his ghostwriter.
Yeah.
like it. Yeah.
You helped him do all this stuff.
Yep.
And everything. But to the rest of the Cobra, they're like, this guy doesn't do anything.
Right.
Like, what?
I'm the one that gave him that trademark 5-syllable Cobra call.
Yeah.
Cobra.
Yeah. He used to
right?
be like, Cobra,
No. Yeah. It didn't work.
Cobra, come on.
Right.
No. You stretch it out.
Yeah,
Stretch it. Bring
exactly.
it. Give it to me.
Right.
Give it to me. Ben, right now. Give me a Cobra.
Cobra.
Stretch it. And scene.
See,
That's
there
it.
you go.
That's it. With that
That
battle
must have been
cry,
fun for the listeners, by the way.
You'll command legions. So your one-liner, your Cobra Commander's speechwriter.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. That's fantastic. So what did you think?
I gotta be. It made me nostalgic for a lot of the characters I didn't see. Mainframe, Lady J,
Yeah.
Scarlet, Duke. But I got to see Mutton Junkyard. That was fun. That was fun. It's such a different experience. It's I'm thinking of what my kids watch now, right? And I think it was so much more imaginative. And again, I could just be one of those old get off my lawn guys.
It was more complex stories.
Yeah.
Plot driven. Certainly plot driven.
Yes.
I think it elevated it. It made you think. It made you want to look up, what are armed forces hierarchies and
Right.
Which
sergeant? How high ranking is that?
Yes.
Lieutenant, right? What do
Yes.
these all have? Right.
Yeah.
Wait, was it the movie? Is it the movie? There's friction? Is it between Flint or somebody else
That's
and
in the-
Sergeant Slaughter?
Well, in the movie, it's Falcon, Lieutenant Falcon.
Yes.
Yeah, who was voiced by Don Johnson. And he had a friction with pretty much everybody. But yeah, Sergeant Slaughter definitely, but Duke, because Duke was his
Right.
half-brother.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember the half
Yeah,
brother thing.
it gets revealed in the middle of the movie.
Oh,
'Cause,
wow. Dun, dun,
I think they had the same mom or something like that. And he's like, because they're like, we're going to give him a court-martial. And Duke's like, he's my half-brother. And you're like, what?
Wow.
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dig it. I definitely dig it. I like the use of the monkeys in this. Mm-hmm. Very reminiscent of the Fatal Fluffies, if you remember them from one of the miniseries, the Dreadnoks on the space station, the little cute little Mowgli looking,
Yeah.
like Mogwai looking.
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
and Mowgli. cute little Jungle Book looking,
Right,
like
exactly.
Mogwais from Gremlins. And then they hit a switch and they would grow to these 8 feet tall monsters, and they would beat up everybody.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I think so.
Yeah, so it was a little flashback to that. That's fun. It's nice to see Cobra Commander in clothing.
Yes, always.
That's exciting. Again, I still don't think enough happens in this episode. Like, in any of the other ones, there would have been 3 locations that they would have been hunting for, and at least one of them would have been totally wrapped up, and the other 2 would have been mid-progress, right?
Yes.
That's kind of the
Especially
recipe
on
for
day
these.
3, if you've only got 5
Yeah.
days, you got to wrap something up.
That's the recipe for these shows. So
Right.
they're definitely breaking that, but I don't know in a good way. So, but
Yeah.
hey, it's still Joe. It's still fun.
Yeah, it's great.
Ben, this has been a delight and a pleasure.
I've had a great time. Thanks so much.
I want to have you back on, so we'll
I'd
look
love
forward
to.
to this.
You know the episode, right?
Yeah.
gotta come back.
Yeah.
I know you've done it.
No, I know.
you've done it.
I got some thoughts on that because I got some other people that I want to get on.
All right.
Which would be best to get them on a specific episode that we may have already done.
Okay.
So we might do some special episodes as the year goes.
That sounds awesome.
Anything to break the monotony of DIC.
Yeah.
So remember, find Ben at Rabbi Goldstein _ on Twitter and say hi to him. Tell him you're a fan.
That would be awesome.
How would you? What's Hebrew for hello? Shalom.
Shalom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give him a shalom.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And check me out on Twitter. And thank you for listening. And remember, guys, now you Joe, and Joeing is half the battle.
All right, G.I. Joe.